Hi, Dan Williams here. Welcome back to Survive Outdoors, where we target wilderness medicine issues, safety, and gear reviews. Today, I am at 8,000 feet, almost exactly, ironically, at Rocky Mountain National Park. And for the last few days, my body has been fighting Mother Nature. And how that's happened is that I went from 728 feet in the Midwest to 8,000 feet in over 3 days, and started encountering high altitude sickness. So the symptoms that you're going to get with that are headache, nausea, vomiting, some confusion, shortness of breath. Those are the main ones, and those are going to start probably about 8,000 feet, 8,500. Places like Jackson Hole, Wyoming, that's at 6,000 feet. I do well there. For the most part, people that live in the flatlands, usually 5,000 feet and above, they're going to notice a little difference. So this is a pulse oximeter, and it measures how well you oxygenate your body. Mine runs 99 to 100%. And up here on the first day, I was at 92, 93%. To put that in perspective, when I have a patient come in with COVID, we always monitor their pulse ox, and if they're at 92, 91, 90%, I need to start thinking about, do I need to put this person in the hospital? So there's a lot of other factors that are involved with that, and we're not going to dive into all of that, but if you have a pre-existing condition like COPD or asthma or any kind of restrictive lung disease, that's going to factor in also. I know people that have COPD that walk around and do just fine at 93%. So it really depends on a lot of factors. So what we did is the next day, we drove back down to about 5,000 feet and stayed there for 6 to 7 hours, went back up, and I was much better, much more improved. So, excuse me, anything over about 10,000 feet, you're going to run into a possibility of things like high altitude cerebral edema and HAPE, high altitude pulmonary edema. Now there are medications that you can take for you flatlanders, and even for individuals that want to climb and rappel and mountaineers. There's a medication called acetazolamide, which is Diamox. And without getting into the specifics, all that does really is increase your respiratory rate, how you can breathe. And that will decrease your high altitude symptoms for sure. So that medication really is useful. I've taken it around 5 years ago when I was in Snowmoss. So one of the interesting things I wanted to tell you about is hypoxia inducible factor, HIF. Now, this gets very complicated, but I'm going to keep it very base because it's really amazing what the body does. So when you go up to a high altitude, you're basically craving oxygen. There's less of that. So red blood cells have hemoglobin, like little life rafts that travel through your lungs, pick up oxygen, and carries that to your organs and the rest of your body, your brain, everywhere. So those little life rafts get filled up rapidly. There's not enough oxygen. Your body recognizes this, and your kidneys produce a hormone called erythropoietin. That hormone tells your bones to make more red blood cells. So hence you're going to have more RBCs, red blood cells, with hemoglobin, and it's going to help you when you have high altitude sickness. Now that's going to, sometimes it takes a few hours. Most of the time it takes about a day to a day and a half for you to acclimatize. So if you're going camping in the Rockies and the Tetons in Alaska and you start having these symptoms, what are you going to do? The best thing you can do is to acclimate to it, is to drop back down 3,000 feet at least. Be there for at least 12 to 24 hours and then slowly go back up. And a lot of your climbers, especially Mount Everest, I mean, they're basically have their base camp. They go up about 5,000 feet and they'll stop and they acclimate to that area. Hydrate, lots of fluids, double the amount of fluid intake you have where you normally live. I'm assuming just either at sea level or 1,000 feet above sea level. So those are the main factors that you need to use as an intervention. Now you come out here and people are making all kinds of money on natural oxygen as opposed to the fake oxygen. Natural boost oxygen. So how they do this is basically you put this to your mouth, you breathe in, and you're a new man or woman. And this doesn't happen. So this does increase your pulse ox, and it'll happen for about a minute or less. And then you go right back into it. So this is a real gimmick, is all this is. Now, there is a use for it, and the use you can, if you have a hiking partner or a camping partner that is extremely anxious and nervous because they can't breathe, it feels like they're breathing through a straw, they're going to get panicky, they're going to get tachycardic, their heart rate's going to increase. And a lot of times if people know what's going on and you can reassure them, that's really helpful to decrease their anxiety. So this can help if you have them breathe this in and show them, if you have a pulse oximeter, hey look, this is going to help your oxygen level, and it'll decrease their anxiety. Other than that, don't pay for this at all. It's ridiculous, not worth it. So upcoming videos, we're going to talk about high altitude cerebral edema, high altitude pulmonary edema, and those are the serious ones. Those are the ones that are going to kick your butt. In the meantime, keep your eyes on the horizon, face to the wind, stay safe.